What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good, you?
Not bad, not bad. Just a small fish trying to play in a whale game. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post some Veve content for your faces. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button under the video. Get one of those stars next to your name. Level up through the stars. Get maximum entries into the giveaways every single month. Follow us on X, follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord. Discord's where you're going to let us know anything that you did to get extra entries into the giveaways every single month. Also, meet everybody in the Veve fam who is on our Discord, as well as other projects. Lots of intermingling going on the Discord.
Absolutely, guys. Join the Discord. It's the place to be. And all our gifting programs run through that Discord. Make sure you guys join the Discord. Over 380 members strong and growing. Make sure you guys join.
All right, we got some more news from Veve. This one is out of left field. Did not see this one coming. We understand that we have the diorama for the Little Mermaid drop coming on July 12th, I believe. I think it's down here. I think it's the same day. July 12th at 8 a.m. Pacific. And now we have this crafting of aquatic plants, ocean coral, and decorative rocks.
Right.
To beautifully design or to add it to your diorama. So basically, the way this is going to work is you have to own the diorama. So you have to get the diorama on drop day, and then that will qualify you to craft some free rocks, coral, and other things. And apparently some of these are animated and they'll be moving around. You can see here list price of 0, 1,420 editions. And there's a mix. Some of them are less editions. This star one is pretty cool. We might need to get one for the channel. I mean, maybe in secondary market. I wonder what those will go for. But yeah, I mean, they're doing something a little bit different, trying to reward people who land a drop immediately. A little different than I would have expected. I thought that they were going to somehow incorporate the actual characters from the way that David made it sound, but I guess he was thinking about this in the background and how this would move forward. So doing something a little bit different, token gating rocks and coral. Rob, what do you think about this?
Well, I'm always pro utility, so I think it's a nice thing that they're doing right now is that they're using the crafting mechanisms in order to provide utility to the original collectible. I mean, what we're seeing here, I don't know, is the most exciting thing. Like if you're into this and you're a vaultaholic, you might want a lot of this stuff. But I do like that Veve's taking this path with crafting, and you saw it with the Brandalized drop. It combined with MCP points, and I can get used to them doing this. This is the kind of utility we want to see. Just even token gating is another form of utility, and I think that helps reward collectors. So I don't think anyone who goes to this shop will complain that they now have these additional exclusive things that they can get only because they did go for it in the primary market. It also helps encourage primary market sales because people can go for it now. They say, okay, well, like even if I don't get the secret rare or whatever, like let's just say this is employed on another drop where there's different rarities, at least I can craft. Is there any MCP points for this, Joe?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like you just have to hold the diorama and then be the fastest one to get to the craft. For decorative rock number 2, I think there was one that was a little bit more scarce. This one here, Ocean Coral 4, seems to be the chase item at 388 editions, and it's free. I mean, if this is your thing, this is the one you're going to be looking for when you go to do it. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're trying to start to do new things to reward people who go for drops in primary. It's also kind of smart because now, even though they're giving them away, obviously they're going to have that secondary fee if people do want to transact in them afterwards. So it's not obviously something that might sell amazingly if they were to sell it anyways in the primary market, but secondary market, they're still going to have the ability to recuperate any secondary license or whatever that percentage is whenever you sell in the secondary market.
Is this gated so that you can only craft from the primary market? You have to buy, so you can't. Because I know sometimes there's crafting where you could buy in the purchase. Okay, only store purchase, and that, I mean, this is what Veve needs to do because that's how they make their revenue in the primary sales. So I think this is something that we may get used to seeing a lot more of, using crafting utility in order to encourage primary sales. So yeah,
now
I think
imagine that we did this a little bit differently, and it was buy the diorama and then chase to get the characters to put into the diorama. I feel like that's the right way to go. I don't know. Like maybe there's subsequent characters. Maybe you could have got like Ariel's sisters or something special like that, like other than rocks. But I get it. Test, drop. Maybe you're trying to prove it to Disney. Say like, look, we can do something like this. Obviously, they're announcing utility after they announce the diorama, but it is before the drop is happening, so the market pricing should not be affected. Let's see where they go with this. They're trying new things. You can't blame them for that.
Yeah, you can't blame him for that. And we're going to get into that more about rewarding people who are here right now. I do like your idea of flipping it. What if the characters are the crafting and then kind of the items end up being the primary sales? That might be a way to do it to help kind of get two birds, one stone. And this is where they can mix in maybe MCP points again to help make it a little bit, just a little bit tougher for collectors. So
yeah, they have a lot of different things they can do now with the way things are set up. And hopefully they navigate the ocean of this whole thing and make it work out. But I mean, these stars, if they move around, I don't know. It might be my entire vault. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, this is something that looks like it's going to be free. Anybody can go for it who lands the diorama, catered to the average person. Not necessarily something that you're going to be able to flip for a whole ton of gems, but something just to keep the average user engaged. Where this video takes a turn is that now we're going to talk about how we think Veve should operate when it comes to the whales and how their treatment is and if they should have special treatment. There was a lot of talk about the previous one, the Banksy inspired statue drop, the one that had 1 million MCP as a gate, the bronze statue, only 88 editions, but you had to have 1 million MCP, and obviously only the elite few have 1 million MCP to be able to spare to go for the drop. Some of them have multi-million MCP, so for them 1 million was nothing. There's lots of controversy, like, is this only rewarding whales? What about the average person? This and that. I mean, Rob, what do you think when it comes to rewarding whales and this app?
I think Veve needs to continue doing that. I think rewarding whales right now is their priority. If you look at the app and the condition of the app right now, who's here? It's truly like the degens, right? It's the people who are left, and a lot of them have insane collections. The masses, we've talked a lot about bringing in masses and what a company needs to do to bring in masses. We've stand by that utility is ultimately what the masses want. And to be honest, like, crafting utility still isn't really utility for the masses. When we talk about utility for the masses, like, what can I do with this thing? And we know that there's forms of utility such as gamification and others that we think will be attractive to those masses. But the masses are not here right now. The way the product is currently on Veve, it is not made for the masses right now. They're not interested in the product as it stands right now. So why would Veve tailor at all to the new user bases? They're not going to bring them in. Blackpink helped prove that. They're not interested in just getting a collectible. They need to know what they can do with that collectible and how it connects with their fandom. So I think Veve should prioritize, and they did a great job with the Brandalized drop. I think that was a great way of doing it. Use MCP points, gate it so that truly only the heaviest of whales will be able to go for this. Make them happy, because then they continue to buy on the Veve app and they continue to build their collection. And Veve has a great retainment on that tier of collectors. The average Joe, for example, they're not really interested in participating in drops. So, and they're not until they can actually see more, right? So why would you tailor to them? Why would you go and get a great drop and put very, very low MCP to help people get in that are not massive whales? Don't do that, because it just doesn't benefit anyone. You got to go for new users. The guys who are kind of in the mid tier, like, even if they leave, they're not buying right now anyways. They're just collecting because they don't know what to do with them. They're just holding in hopes to maybe recover their funds, since the collectibles have taken a major depreciation relative to when many people started. So in my opinion, they need to continue to reward whales, and they should prioritize rewarding whales and do more drops like we saw with Brandalized that will reward the whales.
Yeah, I mean, these guys got stacks and stacks and stacks of MCP points. Also, Veve probably can see everybody's in a nice chart, who has the most, how many there are. I mean, for new people to come in, they come in against that, and they want to keep MCP as a important factor. It's going to be hard to onboard when you got this huge stack of MCP points. So, I mean, not only reward the whales because they spent so much, but also try to take down some of those MCP points, at least to somewhere closer to be competitive with new users that come on board. But I want to make a point here, because you got me thinking, is this is like a Dave and Buster's to me. Like you're going to Dave and Buster's and you're going to play some games, right? The more that you spend, more likely you're going to get more tickets, right? And then you can go and you can cash in those tickets for the big prize at the end of the day. And sometimes that big prize is like an Xbox, a PlayStation. You need like hundreds of thousands of tickets. And that's going to be reserved for people who spend the most amount of money at the Dave & Buster's, who plays the most amount of games, who engages the most at Dave & Buster's, and probably spends more than that actual thing costs to be able to get it, or else it wouldn't make sense. So there are these types of systems out there in the real world that cater to those who spend the most money. And I think it's something that they need to continue to do, because they want those people to be happy that they spent that money. Even if it doesn't recuperate all the money that they've spent on the app, it's something that says like, look, I've done this. I don't feel as bad now because I've got this bronze statue, of Banksy inspired statue that now I can flip for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 gems, however much it is, to hedge against all that money that I spent that I'm writing off on my taxes right now. So I think that's something that we have to keep in mind. This is not a new concept, and it's something that is kind of necessary to keep the engagement of the people who are spending the most amount of money on the app, because they keep it afloat in the meantime, in the near term, while we don't have VVverse, while we don't have gamification, while we don't have the utility that we want long term. These are the people who just keep putting money into the app, keep spending their hard-earned money, and building their collections out, so that this platform can stay around. So we want to make sure that they keep doing that.
I see nothing wrong with the buy to win model right now on Veve. I think it's actually the model to go with, because we've seen the data on Veve Fox's website. I mean, some people were talking about, well, look, they had 600 new wallets this month. Like, guys, like, is that really something to celebrate? Like 600 new wallets? Like, when we talk about the masses, when we watch old AMAs of David Yu, they're talking about millions of users, right? So I personally don't think that they need to really worry too much about, let's say, gating drops that new users have no chance at, because new users are not really coming in right now. And even if you do, you're getting a small amount for very selective reasons. So it's fine. Use the buy to win model. Those who are spending more on the app should be rewarded in ways like we saw with Brandalize and the Banksy drop, where they spent an insane amount of MCP points in order to get a drop, which is going to be so rare and exclusive now. You had to be in that top echelon in order to get them. Continue with the buy to win model. And then eventually, it's not that hard to pivot. If they build up utility that is more, compatible, let's say, with the masses, and people can say, wow, what can I do with these things? And they have an answer that they are attracted to. Why not? Like you could just switch your tactics, switch your drops. You don't have to be static. You could be dynamic. This drop is made for the masses. We're going to do it a little bit differently. This drop is going to be for the users, or the main top 100 wallets. So we're going to do this drop to reward them. But I think right now there should be more drops rewarding the top 100 wallets than there is everyone else, because those are the people who are here buying endlessly. And Veve sees the data. We don't. We're making an assumption. We just get a feel for this from what we see around the space. But Veve knows exactly how much of the revenue could be contributed to how many people. Like, it might be like 95% of all the revenue is from 1% of their users. You know what I mean? Yeah. It could be that. So if that's the case, you know what you got to do, Veve. Just keep rewarding those buy to win model. Yeah. Reward. And then eventually, as you buy the app, as you build the app, you buy yourself time, because they're continuing to give you revenue while you go off and you build other forms of utility that hopefully we don't know the roadmap, so hopefully they will one day do that. But even if they never do, at least they're rewarding the core users that are here right now.
Yeah, and if you are worried about some of the fringe users that aren't spending as much money, that don't have as many MCP, and you still want to keep them engaged or interested, I mean, you go to Dave & Buster's, you might not win the Xbox, but there's always the option for that hand that you throw that sticks on things and then you pull it off, or like the slinky or the pencil or something like that. So maybe we can get some MCP options for things like this: rocks, corals, and all other things that maybe aren't as interesting to that average user, but it's still something. I think that might be a perfect hedge for this. But I agree with you. I think all the best stuff that they do this for should have high MCP gates, should incentivize spending until that point when there is utility or gamification or something like that that is going to make people from the outside interested to come in, and then you want to keep them here, then you can start to turn the dial. It's something you can just do you have drops all the time. You can just change it up on a moment's notice, I guess. So very, very interesting how this space is developing right now. And it's cool to see them at least trying some things, but yeah, keep rewarding the whales. I think it's 100% necessary.
Do you guys agree? Should Veve prioritize rewarding whales? Should they keep doing things that reward whales, or do you think they got to do things right now more for the masses? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, join the superstar fam, and hit the bell notification button to get every single video every single day. Also, the superstar VIPs, $2.99 a month, start beside your name, ask for special giveaways, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you next one.
Bye.